So, Leszek, we're on our way to Poznań now in the west of Poland, and something a lot of people outside the country have heard about is the rise of nationalist groups and far-right parties. Now, that's a trend that we're seeing really all the way around the world, but do you think it's tarnishing Poland, the fact that we're hearing about it so much?
Of course, we wouldn't like to talk about Poland in the context of street fights between left and right activists, and sometimes, unfortunately, it happens in Poland. These radical groups are maybe not big, but very visible, and between them, there is one group very famous with a long 100-year tradition. This is All Polish Youth, in Polish, Młodzież Wszechpolska.
All Polish Youth are an ultra-Catholic nationalist organisation. Though they've been around for almost a century, they use very modern means of communication to attract supporters. They post slickly produced videos like this one and content across social media, leading to them being repeatedly removed from Facebook. Amnesty International and the United Nations are amongst the groups who have condemned them as being extremist homophobes. I'm meeting up with their leader, Jemowit Czabatowski. I asked him why, despite 91% of Polish people supporting the EU in a recent poll, his organisation is deeply opposed to it.
I don't love you much. In fact, I think our movement consider that European Union is not something like it was at the very beginning, and right now it is something like the super state, or it wants to be a super state. We consider we should leave European Union. I mean, other parts are that in UA is really strong liberal ideology. So, for example, right now there is a lot of money, more than 40 billions of euro for organization from the area of law of LGBT persons. And we don't want to be, those organizations to be doubted here in Poland, because we don't believe that it is something okay.
All Polish youth members are particularly fixated on LGBT people. They've threatened those taking part in pro-gay demonstrations and turned violent towards them in the past, throwing bottles and rocks at them.
It is not like I hate them or something like that. I can't hate anybody just because he is sick or he has mental disorder. I can't hate him.
So you think it's a mental disorder?
Of course it is. All researchers, and there is a great correlation with the homosexuality and pedophilia. There is.
No, that's not the case.
30% of all pedophiles has homosexualities activities,
and
as
70% are heterosexual,
yeah, but
on your
how
figures.
Many,
but that's
but
you're conflating homosexuals with paedophilia,
no,
and no one is asking. There is no group in the EU asking for paedophiles' rights. What the LGBT people are asking for
it is something like political
consenting
correctness.
adult rights. Okay,
it is political correctness. So when facts are not matching,
there is no scientific evidence. There is no scientific evidence for mental illness or a correlation with paedophilia. There is none. What are your thoughts on multiculturalism in the European Union?
Of course, it is wrong. It is not bad, because it is, we should stay our countries to have these ideas, or to have this the same law as it had all of the time, 2,000 years before, because it is our identity, and it is going about the identity. And where there is the great multiculturalism, etc., there is really easy to destroy people's identity.
On the opposite side, Marta Lempert, an MEP candidate for the new left-wing Wiosna party, says groups like All Polish Youth are increasingly being met with opposition, giving her hope.
I am actually on trials for anti-fascist blockades. I'm persecuted by the police, and many people who react to that happening, for the state supporting right-wing movements and openly encouraging them to take over the space. Of course it's happening, but there's also a huge backlash to that. So on one side we have the state that leans toward the right wing, but also we have the huge resistance to it.
But one of Poland's leading social psychologists thinks the rise of the extreme right has been over-exaggerated.
The youth are becoming very radical, both to the right, towards religion and fascism, and to the left, towards atheism. It is simply the liberalization of views, the opening of what is happening in the world. But it is not true that there are more and more rightists, fanatics and lovers of fascism. They're just very loud, and they can be seen very well.
With tens of thousands following all Polish youth on social media, and a recent former leader becoming a government deputy minister, their full impact in the direction of this country in upcoming EU and domestic elections may well yet be unforeseen. Vincent McAviney, Euronews, Poland.